Hello friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Emma and today's video is a little bit different because we are going on a trip to IKEA. Now I'm off to IKEA today in search of things that are useful for sewing and patchwork and quilting. I really like IKEA because it's great for storage for the sewing room and things like that, but it also has lots of different items that, if you think outside the box a little bit, could be really useful for anything to do with crafts. Now, I'm not sponsored by IKEA at all, this is just for fun, and in the hope that you might find some tips in this video for storing your craft supplies or for things that you could use in your quilting. Prices are going to be in pounds because I'm in the UK, but I will leave a link in the description box to all of the products that I mention in the video, well, as many as I can, and you'll be able to find them in your country. And I've chosen to go to IKEA and make a video about it because many of us have access to IKEA because there is IKEA all over the world. So hopefully this video will be useful. You might pick up some ideas for your sewing space and for your crafting and creating. So let's get going. So one of the first spaces that I actually saw in IKEA was set up with a sewing machine in it, and it had this cork mat which was only £6.50 underneath the machine, which I think is a really good idea to protect your tabletop, and it also had this sewing box which was quite expensive, I thought, but you could decorate it yourself. And in this area there was lots of ideas for jars for storing notions and ribbons and trims, but I really liked this ladder in the corner which they were using to hang things off, but I thought, wouldn't that be the perfect quilt ladder? And it was only £15, which I thought was an absolute bargain. And they have the mini ironing board hanging on it too, and I'm going to talk about that later on in this video. Then I spotted lint rollers, which are very useful for sewing and quilting. When I saw this children's desk tidy, which was only £13, which I thought was really good, it gave me an idea that this would be brilliant for English paper piecing. You could put your pattern in there, your papers, scissors, threads, needles. That could be really handy. Of course, IKEA has lots of great storage solutions, but I was looking for things that are quite small, that would be ideal for putting just the bits and pieces that you need for English paper piecing in. And I thought this little plastic container was a really great size. Then they had this area set up as the vinyl art studio, which I thought was really cool. It was like a creative business hub, and it has lots of ideas in here for the sewing room. Great tables, great storage, pegboards on the walls with hooks and things. This was a really inspiring space. Now I loved this trolley over here, and I really like the containers on it. I just thought they would be perfect for scraps. They're not too big, and you could really separate your scraps by size if you wanted to, or by colour. Now I didn't buy any of these today, but I definitely am going to go back for some when I tackle my scraps, which is a job on my list for this year. I do have the IKEA pegboards in my sewing room and I find them really useful. You can store all kinds of things on them. Now a while back I did a video about customizing a tray table, and they had some really good tray tables and trays as well, which I think are really useful for when you're sewing by hand. You can put them on your knee, have everything that you need on there, and I will link to my video because you would be able to use the same technique to customize those tray tables, or even these sorts of trays which don't have the legs. So I'll leave a link to that, and that might give you some ideas. Now, IKEA do have fabric for sale. Not a whole lot of fabric, but it is cheaper than buying quilting cotton. So there might just be something there that might be useful for the backing of a quilt or something like that. Of course, you can repurpose fabric and use bed covers and things like that, but I thought there might be some nice cotton fabrics there that would be good for quilting. Now this is a kind of blanket. It's £4 and actually quite large, 120 centimetres by 140, and I thought this would be brilliant for wadding. It's not too thick, not too thin, really soft, and I think that would make a great wadding layer in a quilt. So really affordable and might just work a treat. I'm sure you're like me and really like making cushions too, and IKEA is great for cushion inserts. I found this one with feathers in for £9, and then I found this one for only £3.50. It has polyester inside, and this one I think is ideal. It's a nice big size. You could make a lovely quilted cushion cover. I think they were really great and really affordable, and they had a whole range of sizes too. I often find the bathroom area really great for storage, and I was looking for small storage for tiny pieces, bobbin threads and things like that, and I found this container which I thought would be really good for reels of thread stored at the back. You could put scissors in there, you could organise your paper shapes. I thought that was a really good storage container and only £13. And here are the little pink containers again, and I'd see them later on as well. There was something in there telling me to buy them, telling me I needed them, and I do think that they are really useful and ideal for scrap storage. So here is the ironing board section in the laundry area, and here is that mini ironing board again, and I will show you mine that I've had for quite a few years now, and it is so lovely because it folds up. It's only £7 as well, which is just incredible, and it has a hook on the back so you can hang it on the back of a door, and that's where I keep mine. And I created a new cover for mine when that one wore out, and I will link to a blog post where I explain about all of that, and I'll show you later anyway. Now, I saw this drawer organiser, and I just thought this would be really good for separating out your paper shapes or a work in progress, or for storing threads if you've got a drawer that this will fit into. I think that this is a really useful container, and it shows you on the wall how they've used it for DIY supplies, but great for sewing, I think. I thought these containers were really great. You could really separate your shapes out into the little ones, and they were very affordable. just the right size, I thought. And then they had other sizes as well, some larger ones, but I actually like the long, thin ones. I could just imagine hexagons all lined up in a row in there, and they would be great for organising a project. Yeah, I really like those. And they had this area set up for sewing, and it was so clever how they did it, with all the containers with labels on to suggest what to store in them, which I just thought was really great. They had ones for crochet, for sewing patterns, and they even had a container with fat quarters labelled on it, which made me smile. So I'm back from IKEA, and what did I buy? Well, not a whole lot. I actually spent a grand total of £2.50. But before I show you, let me show you the ironing board. So here's my mini ironing board, not that mini, and you can see that I have created a new cover for it with this really charming fabric with children's clothes on it. Really retro, really cool. So yeah, this is the exact same mini ironing board as the one in IKEA, because it's the one from IKEA. It's called Jarl, and yeah, you can customise it and really make it your own. I don't use this as much anymore because I have a wool pressing mat at an ironing station that is too small to fit this on, and I'll link to a blog post about the cover and how I made it and things like that. So what did I buy? Well, for £2.50, because they were £1.25 each, I bought 2 of these mirrors. Now you might think, what's the mirror, or what has 2 mirrors got to do with sewing and English paper piecing? Well, a really long time ago I saw on Instagram a hack that somebody had done, and I'll leave a link to her Instagram below. Her name is Amanda, and it's Amanda Loves to Create, and she has a hack in her stories about turning these 2 mirrors into fussy cutting mirrors. If you buy actual fussy cutting mirrors, they can be quite expensive, so £1.25 each for these is just brilliant. You can see the camera in it there. So let's open them up. Now, obviously they are mirrors, so handle with care, but they aren't particularly sharp. And this is going to be annoying because you're going to see the camera in the mirror as I'm doing it, and maybe my face as well. But what Amanda did was she put the mirrors together like this and taped a hinge down one side, and that way you can open it up and use it for fussy cutting. So I'm just going to put some tape down this edge, and then I will show you if it works. Oh, I'm so sorry, I've taped down the edge with washi tape, and I thought I was recording and I wasn't, so I do apologise about that. But as you can see, you can now open out the mirror like this and use it as a fussy cutting mirror. So that seems to work well. The tape is holding it for now, but I will need to do a better job. There is a bit of a gap there, but for temporary sake, I think that's going to work. Now, fussy cutting isn't something that I do a lot of, but something I'd like to have a little go at. I don't like the idea that it wastes so much fabric, but you can create such incredible designs. So just taken this piece of fabric out of my stash, and you can see it's got some really incredible repeating motifs on it. And just to give you a little idea, if you position your mirror on, you can start to see what it would look like. So you can really play around with the kaleidoscope effect, and that's why I bought the mirrors. So that's it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed coming to IKEA with me and that it gave you some ideas and inspiration for your sewing area and how to organise your crafts. As ever, thank you so much for watching. A massive thank you to everyone who has pressed the super thanks button, and also to all of the lovely patrons who are supporting this channel. It really means so much to me, and I'll see you next time in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.